A traffic survey. The city of Oxford has got a traffic problem. It's an old town and the streets are narrow. There are too many cars and not enough parking spaces in the city centre. The planning department wanted to change the traffic system, and so they conducted a traffic survey. They asked a lot of people these 5 questions. 1. How old are you? 2. Can you drive? 3. How long have you been able to drive? 4. Where do you live? 5. How do you come to town? Here are some of the results. Mr. Brown's 58. He learned to drive when he was 18. He's been able to drive for 40 years. He lives in the country, 20 miles from Oxford. He always comes into town by car. Mary Mackintosh is 20. She's had a lot of driving lessons. She's taken the driving test 3 times, but she hasn't been able to pass the test yet. She lives near the city centre, and she usually walks to work. Bob Brewer's 25. He's been able to drive for 2 years, but he hasn't got a car. He hasn't been able to save enough money. He lives in a village outside Oxford. He comes into Oxford by train. Mr. and Mrs. Wilson are both over 65. They've never been able to drive. They've never learned. They live in a suburb of Oxford, and they occasionally come into town by bus.